Welcome traders. In this video we're going to look at improving the system that I created and posted yesterday. In the system I created and posted yesterday, I looked at the accumulation, distribution, and divergence trades and applied a filter of either a 2-range or a 3-range order flow bar. So what that looks like is this. And as you remember from the video from yesterday, we figured out it would probably be a better idea to use a 2-range chart. So I've placed the tick chart on the left, and you can see how the order flow signals correspond to the green circled areas indicating wins. And what I did is these circles were made from my original test that I put in the video yesterday. Now, what I've gone and done is, after I was done making the video, I thought, is there any better way to use BloodHound and get a better result? And I found out the answer was absolutely yes. Okay, so what I did is I went and created a logic board that included a 4-range and a 5-range as confirmation. And that logic board looks like this. Over here we have the logic that says if I have either a 2-range or a 3-range, I want to get into a trade. I've included a look back because it needs to look back a certain number of bars when we get the confirmation that we are looking for. The confirmation that we're looking for is the 4-range volumetric or the 5-range volumetric. So this template here is made to pick out when we have a 5-range volumetric, and I don't really need this OR node right here. I can plug it directly into the and because this is a 5-range chart, I can get rid of these. I used this as a template and copied it. So here is our logic. We're going to get a signal on the chart anytime we have a 5-range volumetric signal, and I'm looking for the ZTP, the POC absorption, the POC extension, or the exhaustion trade. And we had, in the short-term past, we had a 3-range ZTP exhaustion or a 2-range exhaustion ratio or ZTP. I needed to do a look back here because these bars are not going to occur at the same time. The 2-range and the 3-range bars are going to occur in the shorter term history, and the 5-range is going to be what is occurring here and now. So I needed to put these look backs on here, and I set a look back period of 7, and I needed to put a look back mode of max. So basically there's 3 settings here: min, max, and average. So what that's looking for is when we do have a signal, we're outputting either a 1 or a -1. The look back sees it only as a 1, irregardless if it's a -1. So what we need to do is, we can't have a minimum because we'd have a minimum of 0 if some of these bars didn't have any signal at all. And we can't have an average because we don't want to average 1s and 0s. We only want to see what the max number was, which means that if we had one signal from this solver here, that would have given us a 1, and that is the number that we were looking for. So we have a true signal here, and we have a true signal here, and we get our result. Of course, I've included the 9:30 to 1600 time block here. This was a fairly simple logic board to create, and I did an identical one for a 4-range chart so that I could test the two values. And let's take a look at what that looks like on the chart. What we see on the chart now is we see when we have a combination of either the 2 or the 3 range order flow, and we have confirmation with the 5 range. So on this bar here, right here, we're getting that signal. Same with here, and so on and so forth. Now, here we have an example of a trade that would have been a loss on the 2 or the 3 range only. And this is going to be really important. So if we were looking at this on the 2 or 3 range only, we actually had an entry right here. The price traded down and then it became non-divergent here. So if we had gotten in, we would have gotten in at around 29.85.25. So I've drawn a line here at 29.85.25, and this illustrates our worst case scenario entering on a market order. Okay, so what happened here is we got either our 2 range or our 3 range signal, and in this case it was a 2 range signal, which was a stopping ratio. So if we had entered in on a market order here, that would be what we're going to be working with. Now, I can't make a trading plan for you, but I can see and suggest things. And one of the things that I see is that in a trade that works, we get our entry right here, entering off the 2 range chart. And then when the 5 range chart is complete, we have confirmation. Absent that confirmation, here we would have had confirmation on the 5 range chart and we never got it. And during this entire period right here, we never received any confirmation at all from the 5 range. That's why you don't see a red racing stripe from BloodHound. So if we look at this right here, we now have the opposite confirmation. And so if we did enter this, what is our loss? It's going to be 1 tick. And so this was called a loss and taken as a 2-point stop loss in the numbers that I did yesterday. But using this as a template to create a trading plan, instead of a 2-point loss, we would have entered here based upon the short-term 2 or 3 range chart. But when we have the opposite signals here without any confirmation, well, then we need to be out of that trade. If we look at these trades over here, here we had our entry and then we had our confirmation. Price traded higher, but then gave us a successful trade. And the same way with right here. We had a successful entry right here. Price confirmed, then it did trade a little higher, but then price traded down and we were correct. In this trade here, we just got a signal and we got our profit. In this trade here, we just got our signal and got our profit. Now, the point of this is to illustrate how good the ZoneTraderPro software is when combined with BloodHound and used together. Okay, so let's take a look at what our numbers are. With the 2 range chart, you can see that we had a total of 134 trades. We had significantly less trades when we included 5 range confirmation, and somewhere in the middle when we had 4 range confirmation. The wins were all about the same, except that in the 5 range we had 7 less, and in the 4 range we had 2 less. But here's where we really make a difference, and that's in our loss. You can see that when we only went in with the 2-range chart without confirmation, we had 39 losses, and that gave us a win rate of 70.8%. But when we added that confirmation, we had only 17 losses, giving us an 83.8% win rate. And you see how the losses go up when there's only a 4-range confirmation, giving us a 77.5 win rate. But there's one thing that you need to take into consideration here, and that is that these losses here don't accurately represent what I was trying to capture. And what I was trying to capture was whether or not we were taking full losses on these trades or full wins. So that's what the loss column represents here. As I demonstrated earlier, we would have had no confirmation in that one trade, but that still would have given us a very small loss. So these small losses are not included in the win rate. We're basically just looking at the large losses. The other thing I didn't make any attempt to do is to look at those losses and figure out if the entire 2-point stop would have been needed before we got an exit signal. And in most cases they weren't. So from this point of view, what you're looking at here is a profitable trading system or trading idea that you need to go in, study, and adapt to your use. Okay, if we sit down and do the math, these are just, of course, rough numbers, and obviously no guarantee that you can achieve this number in real trading. What the purpose of these is to illustrate is that the ZoneTraderPro system puts you behind the screen in winning situations a huge majority of the time. So if we look at this, we saw that we had 8,800 in wins, and all I'm doing is saying that for each win we only got 2 points. But as you can see from these charts, a lot of these trades go significantly higher. But for purposes of this demonstration, we're only going to say we got 2 points out of each trade. So we're also going to say that we took 17 full 2-point losses, reducing our profit by 1,700. And we're going to say that we had 20 trades that we would have entered, but then had to stop ourselves out at 1 point when we didn't receive confirmation. Now, this encompassed a total of 20 trading days, which in real time is a little over a month. It was 35 real days. So in 20 trading days, basically in this hypothetical, we're going to look for a return of about $6,100. And again, the point is that you may make more, you may make less, but if you're being put in front of the screen and you're being given a strategy that has a historical win rate of almost 84%, then these are the trades that you want to take and not be basing your decisions on stupid things like the MACD, the RSI, stochastics. All of that stuff is not real-time information. What this is giving you is real-time information that is what traders should be trading on. In 2002, I went and attended a class, my first day trading class, and it was a week, and I went to Scottsdale, Arizona. And the guy there teaching it was a professional trader, and he owned a business where people would come in and sit down at his computers and trade using his brokerage. And that's how I got introduced to professional trading. One of the things that Mark said that I'll always remember is that you have to be selling when everybody else is buying, and you have to be buying when everybody else is selling. When you're looking at these divergence patterns and confirming them with order flow, to me, that is putting his statement about when you need to be a buyer and when you need to be a seller into complete context. If you are a current ZoneTraderPro BloodHound customer and would like to get the current file, you would come to the support page and then getting started down here at the bottom. On the getting started page, I have videos about the zones and how you trade them, and down at the bottom I have these BloodHound logic file here. And what you have to do is do a right click and save. Otherwise, if you just click it, it's going to open up in an XML file, and that's not going to do you any good. If you are interested in purchasing the BloodHound upgrade, you would come to the lifetime license screen, and the cost of the upgrade is $395, and you pay that through PayPal. If you do not have BloodHound, then what I do is I offer a discount so that you can purchase BloodHound here, and you can also purchase a combination of both BloodHound and the strategy Blackbird at a discounted price. And those discounts are $100 in the price of the BloodHound upgrade if you buy just BloodHound, or if you buy both, the price of the upgrade is reduced by $250 discount, and I will return that to you via the PayPal purchase as a refund. So if you are interested in purchasing any of the BloodHound products or upgrading to the BloodHound software, go ahead to the lifetime license page, purchase it. And if you have any questions, be sure to give me a call. And thanks for watching. Have a good day.